even though the Israelites didn't have hindsight to know that the temple would transition to Jesus, they had enough prophecy and enough commands from God to know that the temple did symbolize God's presence with them. The fact that they neglected rebuilding it and left it in ruins was symbolic of their relationship with God. They were more concerned about living their best lives now, as we would say today, and building their own houses and restoring their own material wealth and living in peace with everybody around them than doing what God commanded. This temple, lying untouched for 17 years, is much more about the Israelites' devotion to and relationship with God than it is about a physical building. It was easier to put God aside than to face conflict and hostility with the people around them.
And sadly, Chris, this has been a reoccurring theme throughout history. You can point to any moment in history when Christians were being persecuted and or ostracized by the secular world. And while you definitely see brave men and women standing firm in God's word, regardless of the cost, there are many who acquiesced, like the Israelites, on the grounds that living at peace with people was what we're called to do. I just saw a man named Dr. Kevin Young, not to be confused with Kevin D. Young, but he's part of the Gospel Coalition. He put out a couple tweets. One tweet was, "When the Bible comes between me and my neighbor, I will choose my neighbor." So this guy's a perfect example of a so-called Christian who's trying to live with one foot in God's kingdom and one foot in the world. That's never acceptable to God. Never.